Hey, what's up, everybody? Saint R. Edwards here. Welcome back to Swift Coding for Everyone. In this lesson, we're going to talk about implicitly unwrapped optionals. So you've worked with UI storyboard elements, such as what you see on the screen right now. I have just a blank uh, project open. Well, it's not blank. So I added a UI label in the view controller, and I also added it to the storyboard, as you can see here in just a second. So I added a label to the storyboard as well, and then I connected them. So you can do the same thing if you want to. If not, you can just watch and listen this first go round, and then you can rewatch the video and do whatever it is that I do. But it's mainly gonna just be some talking. But basically, so what you see here on the storyboard is what you've seen a few times already in this course. Is basically an IB outlet that connects a storyboard item to our code. So we just added a label, and as you can see, the type is a UI label, and it has the exclamation mark. The exclamation mark represents an implicitly unwrapped optional. And so what that means is, what that tells Swift is that you are guaranteeing that something is going to be there. You're guaranteeing that there will be a value associated with this property, with this variable. All right. Now, a thing to note is that in the Swift programming language, for storyboard items, storyboard elements, they are allowed to be nil because there's a brief moment to where your app is up and running, and like the view has not loaded, or you haven't initialized it yet. So therefore, in particular, with storyboard type elements and items, they're allowed to be nil. They're allowed to have no value. For instance, as you can see, my circle is grading right now, so that means that the storyboard label that I connected or is connected to this encode in our view controller. So I'm going to build and run my app. As you can see, I have not initialized this yet. I have not initialized this label, giving it a value. So I'm going to go ahead and go command run just to run the app. It's not going to crash or anything, but I just wanted to show you what I meant by, the item being able to be nil. All right, so we got the app up and running. All right, as you can see, it just says label. Like there's nothing to it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop that right now. And then I'm gonna give it some text. So in the view did load, which is normally where you would put something like this, where you would add the text to it, I'm just gonna say label dot text equals, and I'll just say hello world. I'm going to build and run it again. So now that we've initialized it, given it a value, now you're going to see once I run the app, once the app is up and running, that the text printed out will say hello world. All right, and there it is, hello world. Cool, that worked. But what if we tried to take the exclamation mark away and add a question mark for it to just be an optional? What will we get? All right, so now it's telling us value of optional type UI label not unwrapped. Did you mean to use the exclamation mark or question mark? All right, so now we have to unwrap it. So I'll just do something like this. So I'll just say, use some optional binding. I'll say if let the label equals label, then I want you to do this. Then I want Command X right here, Command V, but now I got to change it to the label inside the curly brace. So now it should work. All right, so I'll go Command R again. And the same thing, you'll see once it's built, it'll run again. It'll be hello world in the text, because now we had to use optional binding now that it was a question mark. We just turned it into a UI label optional. All right, so hello world. So that worked. But it may seem a little unnecessary to do it this way, and that's why they developed this language that way. And so for storyboard elements, it's okay to use the exclamation mark to implicitly unwrap those optionals, to save you that work for those type of elements. And that brings me to the next thing is that is usually, or not usually, but it is the only time that you would want to use an exclamation mark for implicitly unwrapped options is when you are going to guarantee that a value is there, or you're going to give it a value just in a short amount of time. Because if you were to implicitly unwrap a normal type of optional or a different optional that wasn't, say for instance, a UI storyboard object or item, your app will crash. And so you definitely don't want that. And it also takes away the safety feature in Swift. Using that exclamation mark, you're telling Swift to Swift and Xcode to say, hey, listen to me, I know what I'm doing, there's going to be a value there, just do it, just unwrap it. All right, so you got to make sure that if you use that exclamation mark, that there's something actually going to be there. If not, you're going to crash your app, and that's not going to be good for your apps. People start writing bad reviews, you won't get downloads, so on and so forth. So just make sure that you keep the safety features that are in Swift. All right. Again, this has been St. R. Edwards with Swift Coding for Everyone. Thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you subscribe for more videos. You guys take care.